Kevin, we recently saw some fallout from the failed AT&T-T-Mobile merger. What lessons can corporate deal makers learn?
I would say never underestimate the DOJ and the FCC. I think the mistake that AT&T made is they thought they had political support for this transaction. They took a very aggressive tack with the regulators and were promising the shareholders that this was a slam dunk, and it was far from a slam dunk. I think what happened is you had some personnel change at the Department of Justice. AT&T had some people they thought were supportive of the transaction who wound up leaving the DOJ, and the tide turned last summer very quickly against the deal.
Do you think we'll still see a bit more consolidation within telecom, within wireless carriers?
I think you will. I think what we're seeing now is that in the data paradigm, when smartphones are becoming prolific around the world, the incumbents are becoming the leaders and the winners. And the small and mid-cap new entrants are being disenfranchised by these incumbents. So I think that if you're one of the smaller players like NIHD, like Metro PCS or Leap Wireless or Clearwire, consolidation is the likely endgame for you. Now the question is, does your competitive position erode and you consolidate out of desperation in 2-3 years at a lower price? Or does that consolidation begin later this year and you can create significant value for the shareholders?
Beyond regulatory scrutiny, what kind of obstacles do you think telecom companies might run into in completing transactions in the coming year?
Well, I think, take for example the case of Sprint and T-Mobile. I think, the industrial logic of combining two subscale number 3 and number 4 players makes a lot of sense. Combined, they'd still have fewer subscribers than either AT&T or Verizon. There'd be huge cost savings of over $10 billion in terms of synergies. But to do a deal now would involve several different technologies, and they'd have to run multiple networks for the foreseeable future. If you look out 2 to 3 years from now, the vast majority of T-Mobile and Sprint's subscribers and traffic will be on LTE. So a merger or integration of those two companies would be drastically simplified. And I think one of the things that, if I were CEO of those companies that I think about is, on one hand, you do a deal now to try to achieve the biggest financial cost savings that you can, offset that by waiting a year or two and reducing some of the execution risk. And that's probably the biggest trade-off that they're trying to evaluate right now.